peaceful field in the middle of the Alentejo countryside. And behind me, a traditional Alentejo blue and white chapel. But it's not any ordinary chapel. It's a chapel that's been built out of an anta. An anta is a prehistoric megalithic tomb. This is called the Antecapela de São Briços, and it's one of several examples of antecapelas we have in Portugal. Let's explore it.
Across Portugal, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of antas or dolmens, megalithic chambered structures. These were built thousands of years ago, predominantly as tombs for the dead, certainly for religious or spiritual purposes, possibly more. Some of them have been adapted in more modern times for various uses. In some cases, they've been repurposed, or renewed in purpose, for modern religious practices, as Christian chapels. In this video, we're going to visit the three most famous and interesting examples of these antas capellas, or dolmen chapels. Possibly the most famous anta capella is in the heart of the Alentejo, in the district of Évora. It's just outside the village of São Briços, and so it's called the anta or the anta capella of São Briços. It's also known as the Igreja de Nossa Senhora de Livramento, in English, the Church of Our Lady of Deliverance, and it's actively used for Catholic services by locals in the parish.
The chapel's locked. You have to request the key from the parish. I didn't do that. Inside, it looks like a Christian chapel or a Christian church. The prehistoric element of it is mostly what you can see at the front, which is the original anta or megalithic dolmen that has had a Christian chapel added onto it.
The anta has been adapted by removing several of the upright pillars, both to make an entranceway and to allow for the construction of a rectangular chapel behind it. One of the discarded pillars is lying on the ground outside it. The remaining pillars, as well as the capstone, can be clearly seen underneath their paint job.
I can understand why people would have been impressed by and want to use this anta for a purpose. It's huge. I'm nearly 2 meters tall, and it towers over me. This is an enormous construction.
Inside, the rectangular chapel has a shrine for Nossa Senhora de Livramento. The chapel is actively used by the parish and has been a site of village celebrations and ceremonies. Apparently, the fallen pillar of the anta had been used for Easter Monday feasts, but a modern table has been built recently. It's a striking building and a lovely-looking chapel, but it doesn't really retain much of its prehistoric character. A little further north in the Alentejo, about 60 kilometers away, the town of Pavia has another famous anta capella which looks and feels more like a prehistoric anta. This huge anta was built about 6,000 years ago, long before any town was built here. The town of Pavia dates to the 13th century, and as it started growing around the anta in the 16th century, the prehistoric construction was converted into a chapel dedicated to São Dinis, or Dionisio, Saint Denis in English. It now stands in the center of a town square, alongside a full church which was also built in the 16th century. In what is now formally known as the anta capella of São Dinis, the capstone and many pillars of the anta are clearly visible, although a modern entrance and a bell tower have been added to it. The entrance is through a locked gate, allowing visitors to view the original tiled altar and what seems to be a more recent icon of Saint Denis. This building is a powerful combination of ancient and reasonably modern. It's a gorgeous example of an anta and a beautiful Christian chapel. Both aspects combine to create a truly distinctive and fascinating structure. Much further north, in the district of Santarém, the town of Alcobertas proudly hosts Portugal's third famous Ante Capella, although in this region the term dolmen is used. This dolmen capella is an older and even more unique example of symbiosis of ancient and modern. The dolmen was already being used as a chapel in the 16th century when it was decided to build a full parochial church for the parish. The church was then built as an addition to the dolmen, which was kept as a chapel extending from the side of the nave. The dolmen still has most of its original pillars, but the capstone was fractured in the 18th century, and a new roof was built for it. The chapel is dedicated to the parish's patron saint, Santa Maria da Madalena. All three of these ante capellas, or dolmen chapels, are actively used by their communities. They are a place of worship and spirituality, just as they were when they were built millennia ago. They represent a real melding of ancient with modern, and in my opinion, their present-day form, while different from what they were when originally constructed, is a beautiful extension of their purpose. As far as I know, these are the only examples of sites in Portugal that combine ancient and modern structures into sites that are actively used for religious or spiritual purposes. There is an Ante Capella much further north in the Guarda district, but it has been abandoned for years. There's also a church in the Évora district that has an ante built into its walls, but it seems to be more structural. You can't even see the ancient stones from inside the church. There are also many chapels that have been built near antes, and antes that have been used for other more practical purposes. But if there are other ante capellas in Portugal that are actively being used, I haven't found them yet.
I hope you've enjoyed this visit to the Ante de São Briços and the exploration of other ante capellas around Portugal. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about using these ancient prehistoric megalithic structures for Christian chapels. And do subscribe. I'm going to be visiting lots more prehistoric sites all around the country. Thanks for watching.